Howdy folks, it's your boy Naki coming at you again. I just got bored this morning. I can't really say that. I wasn't really bored, but I definitely was curious, so I googled Marxism in America. Whoa! Marxism has been here for a minute, but not as like boom in your face. In America, there's three levels of Marxism: state capitalism, democratic socialism, and Marxism in universities. Uh, Communism is still a bad word, which is a good thing, because Marxism and socialism and communism and all that, you know. All right, let's cover state capitalism. I'm reading from a webpage, so this is from summit.org /resources/articles /Marxism-AN. Wait, that can't be all of it. Alright. Resources /articles /Marxism-America-yes / That's it. That's the website. God, I'm stuffy this morning. Let's cover state capitalism. In a nutshell, state capitalism is the practice of federal government taking ownership and management control of otherwise private businesses. The idea behind state capitalism is inherently socialistic, in spite of the use of the word capitalism. At present, Russia, China, and other nations are committed to state capitalism, but so are many American leaders. Recently, for example, the U.S. federal government has made aggressive moves in the healthcare, energy, and banking sectors of the economy. Government control of the economy creates a significant justice issue because the government is so vulnerable to corruption. Who would have thought? Corruption. Well, anyways, I'll read more. The Hoover Institution's Arnold Beichmann pointed out that socialism in the former Soviet Union, rather than distributing goods equally, actually created a class known as the nomenclature, whose members own everything: the auto factories, the food markets, the pharmacies, the transport system, everything. End quote. Instead of achieving its stated goal of destroying class distinctions, socialism tends to remove competition and deposit cronyism in its place. In Soviet times, this elite class ran the economy into the ground. Will it do the same in our economy? Yeah! Is that even a question? I'm starting to see a biased opinion in this article. But I got two more to cover. Democratic socialism. Bernie Sanders describes himself as a democratic socialist and forcefully argues that America would be better off if it were to substantially raise taxes on high-income earners and put more control in the hands of the federal government. Sanders argues that democratic socialism wouldn't be anything like the totalitarian Marxist regimes in the past because the people would be in charge. All socialists describe themselves as democratic. I hate saying but sometimes I get stuck on a word. And usually when favored by promising to restore power to the people through democratic elections. Seldom do they ever get around to it. Fidel Castro in Cuba and Kim Jong-un both describe themselves as democratic socialists. Both presided over as dictators. There's a little more to this one. So someone like Sanders is different? ? Democratic socialism is often used socialists to get the support of the people by radical reforms. The socialist part continues. The democratic part usually does not. To understand what the democratic socialism is really all about, we need to understand what Marxism is all about. So, Kim Jong-un and Fidel Castro are both democratic socialists. How'd they fare? How are they faring? How are their people faring? I mean, you give government control over everything. There's going to be no more innovations. There's going to be, everyone's getting paid across the board the same amount of money. No one's going to want to do anything. No one's going to want to be a doctor. People get paid for their profession. For all the time they put into it. Yeah, doctors get paid lots of money. That's because it takes lots of money to become a doctor. And it takes a lot of skill to be a doctor. Why should the fucking doctor get paid as much as the janitor in a fucking hospital? That makes no sense. Marxism in the university. Several decades ago, U.S. News and World Report revealed an alarming increase in the number of Marxist professors in university campuses, in affirmation to the claim that 10,000 Marxist protesters roam America's college campuses. Herbert London said, quote, "Every discipline has been affected by its preachment, in almost every faculty." Where was I? Okay, there we go. In almost every faculty counts among its members a resident Marxist scholar. End quote. Among them, Duke University's Frederick Jameson and Lancaster University's Terry Eagleton. At the major university, you'll find some professors overly evangelistic about Marxism and many others sympathetic to Marx's aims. Wait, that's the end of the article. I should have read this first. I skimmed through it, I'll be honest with you. Then I decided to read it to you guys. So there's 3 levels of Marxism in America. Known levels. Now we also got the Black Lives Matter Marxists. That I have no research on yet. I'm still typing up a paper about that. I know it can't be any better than what's going on right now. Just know that. Wait, no, that came out way wrong. Just know it can be better than, no, it can't be better than what's going on right now. There we go. Yeah, I am not for Marxism, socialists, communism, nothing like that. There'll be no innovation, man. Seriously. Like I said, why should a doctor get paid as much as the fucking janitor? No one will want to be a doctor. Unless they have a love for the passion, or passion for the fucking trade. I don't know, man. It's just, why would you want this for our country? It's going to be the downfall of America. Oh, American socialism isn't Marxism, but it's still a problem. Well, let's see what this genius has to say. Oh, that is a lot of words. That's a great way to start an article. That's a lot of words. I'll just read you the beginnings. Yeah. This is written at 2/29/2020. Undoubtedly, the Democratic Party has made a left turn, but how far left have they found themselves in the first half of the 21st century? Many right-wing pundits, political party analysts, and laypersons persistently and interchangeably call themselves Marxists, communists, or socialists, but such imprecise use of these terms tell us little about what the ideology these people have actually adopted. Maybe there's more to it. To adequately and intelligently set forth arguments against all sorts of collectivist movements, it is necessary to understand the historical development of socialists through it and understand all the nuances of its general provisions. It is very shallow and utterly incorrect to view all socialists as Marxists. For example, shots fired in this way will not hit the target. Recall how Obama ridiculed accusations of sympathy for Marxism and mocked Republicans for calling healthcare reform some Bolshevik plot. He deflected such criticism effectively because it often did not apply to him. At the same time, he was able to veil the fact that he was a socialist of a different flavor. Most modern socialists in the United States do not follow either Marxism or Bolshevism at all. This one's titled "Not All Socialism is Marxism." This one's titled "Not Marxism but Reformism." the role of the socialist elites, and syndicalism. Well, that was actually pretty short. Okay. What's the role of socialist elites? What about the collective generals? The leaders of the left use the collective rhetoric for their subordinates, but they assume completely different roles for themselves. These anointed people adhere to the provisions first mentioned by Plato, formulated by parents and perfected by Italian fascists. That is the idea that society showed that government are governed by a capable elite within a collective and robust state. They consider themselves the ruling class, including the governance appointed to decide the fate of the population. No, I'm not sure about y'all, but fucking, I don't want the elite to be in control of my fate, and more my kids' fate. Am I wrong for this? I don't think so. Let's Google something real quick. Okay, let's go. BLM Marxist ideology. Well, of course, I spelled ideology wrong. Alright, the New York Post. Something fucking credible. Yeah. Alright, here's a small article. Well, short article. Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrisse Cullors said in the newly surfaced video from 2015 that she and her fellow organizers are trained Marxists, making clear their movement's ideological foundation according to the report. Cullors, 36, was the protege of Eric Mann, former agitator of the Weather Underground domestic terror organization, and spent years absorbing the Marxist Leninist. Apparently I can't read this morning. Ideology and shaped her worldview. That was what the Breitbart News reported. The first thing I think is that we actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers, she said, referring to BLM co-founder Alicia Garza. We are trained Marxists. We are super versed on sort of ideological theories. I think that what we really tried to do is build a movement that could be utilized by many black folk. Cullors added to the interview, and Jared Bow of the Real News Network. While promoting her book, When They Call You a Terrorist, a Black Lives Matter memoir. In 2018, Cullors described her introduction to the support of the Marxist ideology. She described to Democracy Now!, and there's links to the articles and stuff, how she became a trained organizer with the Labor Community Strategy Center, which she called the first political home, under the mentorship of Mann, its director Breitbart reported. There's a little bit more. The center, which describes its philosophy as an urban experiment, uses grassroots organizations to focus on black and Latino communities with deep historical ties. It's hard to read this font. I need to zoom in probably. That might help some. Black and Latino communities with deep historical ties to the long history of anti-colonial, anti-imperialist, pro-communist resistance in the U.S. empire, according to the outlet. That's a mouthful. Anti-colonial, anti-imperialist, pro-communist resistance in the U.S. empire, according to the outlet. It also expresses this appreciation for the work of the U.S. Communist Party, especially black communists, quote unquote. as well as support for the great work of the Black Panther Party, the American Indian Movement, Young Lords, Brown Berets, and Great Revolutionary Rainbow experiments in the 1970s, Breitbart reported. We're almost done. In 1968, Mann was a coordinator for Students for a Democratic Society, for which a more radical wing, the Weather Underground, was splintered and the following year. It was led by Bill Ayers and Bernardine Dohm, who called for direct action over civil disobedience, seeking to overthrow the U.S. government in 1969. The FBI classified this group as a domestic terrorist organization. Kind of like Antifa. Mann was eventually charged with assault and battery, disturbing the peace, damaging property, defacing the building, and disturbing the public assembly, for which he spent 18 months behind bars. End article. She looks like trouble. You ever see a person go, "You look like trouble"? Yeah, that's what she looks like. Straight trouble. Looks like I'm losing weight too. I like that. Mustard on a beach, ho. How long is this article? I'm sorry I'm taking up so much of your guys' time, but some of this is really important to get out there. It's kind of a small, long article with a lot of quotes. There's the end of the article. I'm seeing it scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. That's a good way to start the article. This is from fee.org. Yeah. On Monday night, Terry Crews was grilled over the criticism of Black Lives Matter by CNN host Don Lemon. As Gina Bontempo pointed out on Twitter, Don Lemon did everything he could to talk over Terry and silence him as soon as they started approaching what the BLM organization really is about. CNN doesn't want you to know the truth, and they think you're stupid. Oh, they do. All major news networks think you're fucking retarded. And chances are you are. Especially if you're watching them and believing them. There might be a small amount of retardation in that one. In that whole equation. That's the word. Equation. I'm not going to read this entire article. It's way long. And I'll stumble over many a word. I suffer from dyslexia. It's not that major, but it's enough to make me go, what's that word? Or say, like, instead of lemon, linen. You know, shit like that. BLM is not what it appears to be, the new era. Okay, that's a quick article, kind of. Let me read in my head the first little portion of this, see where it's going. Alrighty. I don't think I'm going to read this one. It's not in favor of BLM or anything. It's just, I don't know. Something about it screams biased opinion. Even if it was biased to where it was in my favor, like fuck BLM type shit, I probably wouldn't read it because I'm not one for biased news. I like unbiased news, which is rare and hard to find. I try bringing like unbiased opinion. Right. Yeah, well, you guys will believe that one eventually. There's nothing Marxist about Black Lives Matter by Spiked. Huh. Well, maybe they dug into what she had to say, the co-founder, you know. But still, socialism bad. Yeah, Marxism bad. It's never worked for anyone. I mean, look at Venezuela. Their money's laying just in the street. Like, it's worth nothing. Excuse me. So, yeah, if you think socialism is going to change the world, and it will, not for the better, look at Venezuela. Not going to happen, partner. Let's look up Venezuela. The Communist Party of Venezuela Wikipedia. That is a large article. Just the fucking catch line. Venezuela is an eerie endgame of modern politics. Citizens of a once prosperous nation live amid the havoc created by socialism, illiberal nationalism, and political polarization. And that's, I'm sure, that's a lengthy article. Oh, Lord. See my hands here scrolling? I'm scrolling, Mama. I'm scrolling, but I'm not finding an end. Jesus. I couldn't read that all to you if I want to, unless you want to sit here for a fucking hour. Here, I'm just going to go. There we go. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm going to cut this here no later than 3 more minutes. Well, 2.5 more minutes. But yeah, it's all bad. If you think socialism is going to change anything for the better, it's not. It's really not going to. You know, I'm going to find this video. Yugoslavian woman warns of socialism in America. See if that pulls it up. That would be it right there. Oh, don't play. Pause. Skip ad. Alright, there we go. Paused. In the description, I'm going to put the motherfucking video you motherfuckers need to see. You need to really take this in. I've downloaded this video, so it will never disappear. I will re-upload it a million fucking times. I would cut it into this video, but then make the video even longer, and I don't think you guys want to sit around for that long, because most people have a short attention span, like I do. Squirrel. Anyways, yeah, so I'm going to cut this video short, ish, kind of. We're going on 25 minutes, so I'm going to drop a link in the description. Watch this video. It is a warning. A warning from someone who suffers from socialism and Marxist socialism. So, yeah, take it, man, and run with it. Fucking fight with us. We will not go quietly into the good night. We will rage into that good night. Remember, be loud, be heard, be dangerous. And most importantly, blow kisses to your haters.